for. Brilliant! Threads it in! And there's the goal from Pedro!
It's sports on 32 FM 94.9.
A pleasant afternoon to everyone who has joined us on today's edition of the show Scoreboard Reloaded right on 32 FM 94.9. It's that time of the day when we come to discuss about sporting stories on the show. We have a 27 minutes thereabout to discuss about the latest development to make it rounds. Well, in the world of transfer for Arsenal Football Club, their fans are so much excited about the latest development in their recruitment. 𝐒𝐈𝐄 𝐒𝐍𝑒, who was released at a teenage age, where we talk about wanting to play for Arsenal Football Club. But the 27-year-old wasn't years back then, but then the dreams of him playing for Arsenal Football Club definitely is just a moment away, as 𝐒𝐈𝐄 𝐒𝐍𝑒 would be confirmed as a new Arsenal Football Club player. Well, how did all of this happen? Kai Havertz got injured yesterday. He suffered a knee injury, and it is said that he's going to be out for 3 months or thereabouts. And then for Arsenal, just because they want to win the English Premier League title, or they want to enforce and go so far that in their competitions this season, they've decided to add 𝐒𝐈𝐄 𝐒𝐍𝑒 to their ranks. So a lot of people are saying 𝐒𝐈𝐄 𝐒𝐍𝑒, Victor Gyökeres. We also have Martin Zubimendi, Christian Nørgaard, Mosquera, Kepa Arrizabalaga. What a signing, what a summer this has been for Arsenal Football Club. But then still talking about transfer. In England, you talk about their record. Well, it has gone past 2.37 billion pounds or euros. We talk about the amount spent within English club sides in that players transfer. And then we'll say that for Bournemouth, they have added Ardley from Bayer Leverkusen into their ranks, and he becomes the first Moroccan to play for Bournemouth Football Club. We'll discuss about transfer stories on the show this lovely morning. Before we definitely digest all of those things that happened yesterday as well, we talk about the D Tigers of Nigeria. They lost 75-91 to the Ants of Senegal. That was a sweet revenge. 1997. That was when Senegal the last won the AfroBasket Championship compared to Nigeria in the year 2015. But yesterday's quarterfinal matchup was one that wasn't in favor of the Nigerian side. We won the first quarter, but in the second, in the third, but in the fourth quarter, we won. But the second and third quarter, we lost our guard in that's 20 minutes of action. So we discuss about that, as well as Nathaniel Ezekiel. Who is this man? You take a listen to him on the show this afternoon from the heroics in which he had yesterday. It was a good day. That's on track for Ezekiel, favor of Philly. But for Oluwatobiloba Amusan, she finished 5th, and it was not the best for the Toby Express. We'll talk about the world record holder. We'll talk about hurdles. So all of these, like I said, we'll discuss on today's edition of the show right on 32 FM 94.9. And you are listening to the voice of Oluwatimilei SAMIES. So good on the program. I have DOLAPO with me in the studio. Well, I know he's a happy man, and he definitely wants to discuss about Arsenal Football Club first. But then we have 𝐾𝐈𝐒 𝐒𝐿𝐿 also in the news, and we'll start straight from 𝐾𝐈𝐒 𝐒𝐿𝐿. For 𝐾𝐈𝐒 𝐒𝐿𝐿, there were news that broke out earlier this week that he is out of contract with Barnsley Football Club. But then, just late yesterday or in the early hours of today, Barnsley manager Conor O'Ryan he has clarified the situation surrounding the 𝐾𝐈𝐒 𝐒𝐿𝐿, confirming the midfielder remains contracted to the club until June 30th, 2027, but free to leave before the close of this current transfer window. Let's take a listen to the words of the head coach of that Barnsley Football Club before I get a reaction from DOLAPO, who is right here with me in the studio. The words of that Barnsley head coach, Conor Orien.
Fired? Not heard anything about that. Yeah, exactly it. Yeah, that would be the plan. I think for all parties that would be the best scenario. But in terms of fire, that's completely wide of the marks. First I've ever heard of it.
All right, today listen to the words of the coach saying that the news of Kelechi Nwakali being fired from the club side. That's the first time in which he is hearing of that, and both parties are working to part ways with each other. But then the former Golden Eaglet star, who won the Barnsley Player of the Month in January 2025, he has been a man who a lot of club sides they've been ditching out of their ranks just because of his negligence to service.
Good afternoon, SAMIES, and good afternoon to everyone who have joined us on the show this afternoon. Well, for Kelechi Nwakali, I think his career has been like this since when he performed well for the Golden Eaglet of Nigeria. When he broke out as a star, he went to Arsenal Academy where he played for a while before he went to Spain. He was getting his rhythm well when he was at Huesca before he went for the 2022 AFCON under, was he under Junacho or under Jose Pizarro then? Then, since then, it looks like his career has just went down. He went to Portugal on loan in the Division 2 or Division 3 in Portugal. He was let go there because he was pressing his phone on the bench or something like that. Then he went to Barnsley where I felt like he had gotten things right and was playing well. You said it earlier that he got the Player of the Month for them earlier this year, January of this year. He was playing very well for the team in the Division 2 of the third division in the English football. But all of a sudden, the news broke out on Monday where the reports of him being fired. And I was like, they said he came late for preseason before the manager clarified that he's not in his plan and all of that. But one thing is, for a player who is playing very well for the team before the end of the season, at the start of the season, the manager is coming out to say he is not in his plans and there are other clubs looking at him, he wants to let him go. It has to be something. It has to do with something that has to be disciplinary again for him, because his career has always been like this, and I think he has to check himself to get back his career. He had a very good talent then when he played for the Golden Eaglet, and we all think we had the next big thing in football, in Nigerian football, but everything has not gone well for him because of his negligence, like you said, and disciplinary issue as well. He's not really a disciplined player. He's not really disciplined with his career. For you to be playing the third division of the league with the talents we all believe he has, I think he should be there. He should be one of their star players in the team. But now he has gotten himself into this problem again. And it will be very hard to get other teams. The coach have come out to say he was not fired, which is something good for his image, because to get another club, every other person will be coming with, you have always had disciplinary issue and all of that. But now the coach have said he's not just in his plan and he can get other teams to go to in the next 11 or 10 days for the transfer window would close. He might just get somewhere else. One thing that has always been there for him is anytime he has this disciplinary issue, he always gets to get one club or the other to play for. It might just still be in the second division or in third division of English football, and he might just still head back to Spain where he can just go and get to play. Maybe I feel like maybe if he goes back to Spain, it would be very good for him, because when he was at Huesca that year, he was playing very well before he went to the AFCON and everything went down for him. So if he could go back to Spain, he might just get back a team to play for. At this point in time, it's not looking like he can get to that level where we all expected him to get to again, because when you look at his age, he's not in that level again. So, but for him to just still be, or as a player, and just to keep on playing, maybe for the meantime, he needs to go back to get another team to play for, and I think he would get that in a matter of time.
All right, thinking he's going to get another club side, but for the manager, well, that's talking about Conor. He said that the former Arsenal midfielder is also not in his plans for this season after being dropped from a recent match day squad. So we move away from that and still talk about Nigerian-related sports stories on the show before we move straight into the European scene. And this is coming straight from the D Tigers of Nigeria, whom, of course, they lost their quarterfinal game yesterday to the hands of Senegal, 24-23, 18-30, 13-23, 20-15. They lost that encounter, winning 2 sets and dropping 2 quarters. Yes, let's use quarters there. So it was a sweet revenge for that Senegal. Remember that the D Tigers, that was in the month of July, that defeated the Senegalese women also en route. That's their title, a sixth title, AfroBasket title there in Côte d'Ivoire. But then yesterday was the ninth time of facing each other. That's between Nigeria and Senegal, in which we've won 5 times. But yesterday we fell short, and it was not the best of that game for the D Tigers of Nigeria. I know they won all 3 games in the group, that's the round robin format, and then they got into the knockout stages, the quarterfinals, and we had no response to the attacking prowess of Senegal.
Well, for the Tigers of Nigeria, they performed really well in the group stage or in the round-robin game. They played their 3 games where I wasn't expecting them to win the last 2 they played. And they performed, champion? Yeah, they performed really well. They defeated Tunisia, defeated Cameroon, and I was thinking, okay, going into that game against Senegal, who has not defeated the Tigers of Nigeria in the AfroBasket for a while, I feel like they might just get to do things well. Let's forget, the last time they came into this competition, that was 4 years ago. They also got knocked out by Rwanda, or was it? I think it was Rwanda in the quarter final of this competition as well. And I was thinking they can just get to do the things right yesterday, but they didn't have the resilience to hold up their win, because they won the first quarters. Going into the second quarters, they lost the second quarters. And the third one, I was thinking, okay, go in there and do the same thing the ladies did when they were playing against Senegal and they did at the women AfroBaskets, where they felt like, okay, even if we can't get points against them, we won't let you guys score against us. But they kept on letting Senegal get points. Senegal kept on getting points. The more they tried to get back to where Senegal is, they kept on losing points to Senegal, and that was the reason why they couldn't get this thing right. I was not expecting much from them. This is unlike the ladies, where the ladies had a very good form going into this competition. The ladies didn't. The ladies
they have good form, but no. One thing is actually common in all of sports involvement.
The preparation was not good.
Preparation across all fronts.
I agree.
The women's AFCON, the D Tigers AfroBasket.
That is why I said they are different.
The D Tigers AfroBaskets, except the Chan, and those ones had preparation, but they performed woefully.
Now this is it. For the ladies, the preparation were not good enough, but they had a momentum. They've not lost in the competition since 2015. And they've won 5 on a row. They've won four on a row since 2015. So going into this competition, the preparation were not good enough from home ball. They had that in them that we've not lost in this competition for a while, and we can keep on doing it. Since they won the first game, they took it a game at a time, and they kept on doing it. Went on like that till they get to the final and they won. For the Super Falcons of Nigeria as well, this team has been a team that has dominated football, women football in Africa. So it was kind of very easy for them. Unlike the Tigers of Nigeria, they've only won this competition once. They've won this competition once. That was in 2015. Senegal is one of those. I think Senegal and Egypt are the one who has won the most, the most AfroBaskets in the male division. But Senegal has not won for a long time. They've not won since 1976 or something. That was the last time they won the competition. But going into this game, if you look at it on the ranking, Senegal is one of those countries that is ranked higher than Nigeria on the classification round. And when you look at it, Senegal didn't really perform well in the group stages of their.
They had to play qualifiers.
Yes, they had to play qualifiers to come into to get into the quarterfinal. They didn't really perform well, unlike the Tigers of Nigeria, who won the first 3 games, and they went on to lose. But I think it was just that. I don't want to put it like we didn't prepare well. It is something we all know that we didn't prepare well, and that was why I was thinking before the start of the competition that we might not just even get out of the group stage. When you look at, we have Tunisia who won the last competition, and Cameroon also in the group. The only game, I think that first game was what gave us the momentum and what took us to where we are. We played against Madagascar first, and that was what I feel like it was that one that pushed us to, okay, we defeated Madagascar. Tunisia were not really that good. It was not the same Tunisia we saw 4 years ago when they won the competition, and we were able to capitalize on that and beat them. Going against Cameroon, I feel like we qualified already, and then we were able to defeat Cameroon as well. I think that game yesterday was something I was thinking is going to be close, especially when you look at the talents they have then in Senegal. I was thinking it's going to be close, but we'll be able to niche it out. But then we are not able to do it. For the NBBF now, I think they can see it very well. The preparation going into competitions needs to be better. We need to prepare better. Even though the ladies get us the result, now, we need to be better.
There has been talks about there are players who vowed never to play for the D Tigers of Nigeria, and now the D Tigers did not even extend an arm of invitation to all of these guys.
Yeah.
Why did these guys at first say they are no longer interested in playing for the D Tigers? That is because of the negligence of those within the federation, and those guys that can no longer be part of it. And also, you say that for the NBBF, the federation, why can't they get the best legs? Because yesterday I saw a Nigerian side struggle defensively.
Yes.
I saw the Senegalese get a lot of 3-pointers. They had a lot of turnovers also in that encounter. And I was like, okay, what is going on? How are we losing this? We won the first quarter 24-23. The second quarter was so awful. We lost totally 18-30. They had a 21-point lead at the point. They had a 26-point lead also at the point. How did we get that? How did that happen? So for the federation, for everybody within Nigerian sport, I think it's just better we actually look at things inward to make things better. We should make preparations also good for our sporting circle, because now for the men's team that's talking about the D Tigers, the FIBA Men's World Cup qualifying series set to commence in November is the next big thing for them. They missed out on the last edition in 2023, and they want to be in Qatar in the year 2027. So we have to start our preparations from now.
I think the preparation for us in Africa, especially when it comes to basketball, even every sport, has not been good enough. It has not been the best when it comes to preparation.
I want to say we glorify football in this part of Africa, and also in Nigeria, and even the football, we've never won the World Cup. We've not gotten to the semi-finals of the World Cup.
This is not even about glorifying
it. Much.
This is not about glorifying football, because even when you want to say we glorified football, the Super Falcons of Nigeria didn't play any friendly game for close to 6 months.
No,
we neglected them. We left them. Yes, I understand what you. I understand the angle. Yes, I understand the angle you are coming from.
And even it is men's football.
Yeah,
much more attention to
I remember
the senior level.
We keep on doing this, and we keep on having it in the mind of this is the only sport that can fetch us something. This is the only sport that the people of Nigeria would like, and that is one of the reasons why we are not doing well in many of other sports. But one thing I know very well here is that the NBBF knows what their work is, which is to get us the best. It's not that we don't have this talent in Africa. It's not that maybe I should just put it that if not for individual brilliance, the ladies wouldn't have done what they did at the last competition. We saw what happened at the Olympics. When I saw what these ladies did at the Olympics last year, when I saw the way they performed at the Olympics last year, I was thinking in my head, you should be giving these girls the maximum preparation. Let them fight for it. When you look at,
you made mention of the Olympics.
Yes,
from that Olympic Games, I think we played against
Australia, France, and USA.
In the last game.
The last game was USA.
Yes,
the US. And we lost against USA.
From that game against the US, down to our AfroBasket game.
No game
in Côte d'Ivoire. Yeah. How many games did the D Tigers play?
They didn't give them, and that is it. We only come out to focus when we feel like there's a competition coming up. We don't really put more. We don't give. I think I remembered very well before the start of the AfroBasket of the ladies. They were in Abuja for a while. They were talks of no money, and I was asking myself, no money as how for a sport? This is not a sport for the youth level. Even the youth level self, you must have money. There were talks of no money and all of that. I was asking myself, this is not how sport is supposed to be run. When you see how the way other countries are doing this, we kind of don't take sport as something that is business here. We take it as it is just sports, and that is one of the reasons why our sport over the last few years has gone down. We have gone below the pecking order, and we are not one of those giants in African sports anymore. Not even football. The football that we are glorifying, we are. The World Cup is coming up in the next year. We didn't qualify for the last World Cup in Qatar, and it's still looking like the next World Cup in USA we won't be going there. So it's not that we are doing even the one we are focusing on, we are doing it rightly. We are not doing anything rightly, and things have to change if we want to get the best of these ladies. We have the talent in every aspect of the game.
I just hope that those listening and also within the ebb of affairs of Nigerian sports don't keep up this act of rinse and repeat. And then we'll talk about athletics as well. Still talking about Nigerian sports. It was a great evening for Nathaniel Ezekiel, the Nigerian 400-meter hurdler, who claimed his maiden diamond victory yesterday after powering to first place in the men's 400 meters hurdles at the Lausanne Diamond League there in Switzerland. Let's take a listen to the words of Ezekiel Nathaniel while speaking right after the race yesterday.
First time in the year I'm running 48 seconds, so I won't say I'm proud of it, but at the same time I'm grateful.
And about the Diamond League events in general, I mean, what's your feeling about it, and what's the road to winning the Diamond League in a certain sense?
I mean, it's pretty cool because coming out here, competing with professionals in the game, it's amazing. And The setup is quite good. The crowd, Jesus Christ, everything is amazing. And I haven't had this feeling before, so it's cool. Yeah. Because this is the first time in the year I'm running 48 seconds. So,
well, first time in the year he is running 48 seconds under the sun, or in the sun or in the rain. Yeah, you talk about his level of performance. That's talking about Nathaniel Ezekiel. What a record for him, and also what a way for him. Impressive 48.08 seconds, edging out American Trevor Bassett, who finished second in a time of 48 points.
That's very good for him. Like, very, very good for Ezekiel Nathaniel. He has been performing well for a while in athletics, and that is just a very good result for him to win his first win in Diamond League. That is so good for him. And another thing I think I kind of see is at the competition, I saw Favour Philly finishing second in her race, and she was still with the Nigerian flag. She was running for herself yesterday, but she was still with the Nigerian flag. She had the green, white, green. So she wants to change her allegiance and all of that. Still look like she's still in Nigeria, and that is just one of those things we are still talking about, the way we handle sports. But for Ezekiel Nathaniel, I think this is so good for him going forward. It would work for him very well. The upcoming athletic Cup is coming up very soon in the next 2 months or thereabouts. This is just very good for him. He would be able to perform well like this, and we would probably guess we have Amusa on the 100 level, Favour Philly on the 200 level, and now Ezekiel Nathaniel is coming up strongly on the 400 level. Very good for Nigerian sports. Very good.
Well, DOLAPO mentioned of Favour Philly, who delivered a strong performance also for Nigeria in the women's 200 meters. For Tobiloba Amusan as well, the reigning world champion and record holder. She's expected to defend her crown at the World Athletics Championship in Tokyo later in September, where athletes are using the Diamond League as a preparation. But then it was not the best of finisher for Tobiloba Amusan yesterday, who finished 5th in a time of 12.82 seconds. Not the best. But then we move away from that and talk about some European sporting stories now. And it is all about the UEFA Champions League games that went down yesterday. We were for Basel and Copenhagen. They played out a 1-1 draw yesterday. Bodo Glimt, 2 goals in 3 minutes. And that was in the first half. They defeated Sturm Graz by 5-0. Celtic and Kiryat Almaty, they played out 0-0. Fenerbahce and Benfica, they played out 0-0 yesterday. So someone was asking on social media, she didn't know when John Duran left that's Al Nassr to join up with Fenerbahce. But then she saw for herself yesterday. But 0-0 it ended. But later today, actions will continue in the qualification for the Europa, and also that's the Conference League games later today. And then we'll talk about those who want to play in the Conference League. There is one side, Crystal Palace, who of course their talisman is set to join Arsenal Football Club in the coming days. It is said that he might not play the game today, but what will happen to Crystal Palace? Remember, they qualified initially for the UEFA Europa League, but down to the ownership rule in the world football, they were demoted to the Europa Conference League. So that's that for all of those games. And then we'll talk about transfer stories also on the show before we talk about the US Open. For transfer stories in England, after Leeds United completed the signing of AC Milan striker and Switzerland striker Noah Okafor for £80 million, they took their spending by the Premier League clubs this summer to a record £2.37 billion. And the 25-year-old became Leeds' 9th summer signing since winning the championship to secure their return to the top flight. So for English football, it's all about the money, money, money.
And when I look at it, I look at the other leagues and I ask myself, these guys have money. And this is one of the reasons why the English Premier League is kind of the best league in the world, the most watched league. Because when you look at the amounts, even the teams coming from the championship are spending, you look at what teams in Spain, teams in Germany, teams in France are spending, and you ask yourself, these guys are rich, they have the money to spend, and they are still willing to spend more. We still have talks of Alexander Isak still might leave for close to £150 million. There are still rumors of Savio might just still go to Tottenham Hotspur. So there's still money from this team, and they're still ready to spend. When the league is spending 2 billion, and other leagues are spending 300 million in a year, other leagues are spending 200 million. You look at it and you see the difference is there is no clear difference at all. These guys are still performing. I know they haven't won so much Champions League there. This Champions League has been won most by Real Madrid. But when you look at how much they are funding into this league, I saw what Sunderland did. They've spent close to 140 million pounds, and it is showing on the pitch of play. I saw the way they played against West Ham United on Sunday. They defeated them easily for a team that has been in the league before. You look at what Leeds United did against Everton. Even the fact that Everton they've spent a whole lot this summer. They've bought a whole lot of quality player, and still you could see with the way Leeds United were able to do it that day. That is showing you that football these days has turned to business. People are spending much, and it's looking like the English football is where the headquarters of all of this is, and they won't stop spending. They've been doing it for years. They are getting the result. They are selling players among themselves. They are selling out abroad, and they're still getting the money in, and it is good for football. Unlike other leagues, maybe when other leagues start to do this, their league become competitive, because I don't think there would be anyone that can come out and say this season this is a particular team that would win the league, or these are the teams that are going to qualify for the Champions League from this league. Unlike the other leagues, when you look at the Spanish La Liga, you can just hit your chest and say Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid will qualify for the Champions League. In France, you would say Paris Saint-Germain and some other teams will qualify. In Germany, you put Bayern Munich, another team. But like England, you can't say. Even Manchester City struggled to get into the top 4 last season. Chelsea struggled to get into the top 4. So this is something that is one of the reasons why the league is strong, and the league is always very interesting, and everybody wants to watch. If other leagues want to get to this level too, they have to pump in money. They have to pump in money into these leagues.
All right, pumping money. But for England, that is the summer spending record. The last one was in the year 2023, where it was 2.3 billion pounds. But this season, 2.37 billion pounds. And the season or the transfer window is not short yet. But then we'll still talk about transfer stories where it is set for Victor Boniface to join AC Milan. And then Chelsea, they confirmed the signing of Julian Cisco.
Chelsea?
It would go to Strasbourg.
Chelsea?
Yeah.
They said Bluco. I don't know. I think FIFA needs to look into this.
So, no, Chelsea and Strasbourg.
I understand. Bluco, I understand. But I think this thing is something FIFA needs to look into. I've seen the City group also do something like this when they sign player and they tell you they bought him, but he would go here first. If it is Strasbourg that want to sign, let Strasbourg sign and let us see, okay, this is Strasbourg signing it. If it is Chelsea that wants to sign, let us know, okay, this is Chelsea signing this player, and this player is going on loan to this player. I think they are using this thing to kind of cover up some things, which is not right for football. It is not good enough. Why would you tell me you are signing a player and the player is... Because when I first saw the report yesterday night, I was enjoying a particular news that was giving me joy, and then I saw the news of Bluco signing, and I was asking myself, what is Bluco? Let Strasbourg sign a player if they want to sign him. If it is Chelsea that is signing, I've seen Girona and Real Ambassador and Manchester City do these things too. It does not make sense for football.
All right, it doesn't make sense for football. This is how far we can go on today's edition of the show right here on 32 FM 94.9. But I've done this alongside the DOLAPO, and I am SAMIES, your sports captain. We'll meet again tomorrow, 7:45 on Scoreboard at 15. Do enjoy the rest of the day, and bye for now.